Our group's presentation will be the analysis of the 1997 animated film Anastasia by comparing and contrasting the film to factual events of the Russian Revolution, as well as seeing it in the lens of a socio-historical approach. This is particularly relevant as the real-life Anastasia was present during the Bolshevik takeover. In the movie, Anastasia was able to escape due to Dmitri's help. She was trying to jump onto a train but fell and was separated from her grandmother. Throughout the movie, we see that Anastasia was trying to find who she is. Towards the end of the movie, Anastasia was the real lost princess of Russia, fought against Rasputin and won, and fell in love with Dmitri. Anastasia was the fourth-born daughter of Nicholas II. Tsar Nicholas was disappointed that Anastasia was a daughter rather than a son. Nicholas was said to neglect his daughters, therefore Anastasia was mischievous and tomboy-like. Unlike the movie, Anastasia did not escape and was sadly killed with the rest of her family. In this scene, we see the Romanov family dancing together at their ball. It shows that they were a happy and loving family. The ball then gets interrupted by Rasputin. Chaos then begins. The king and queen are nowhere to be seen, and that's the last we see of the Romanov family together, basically insinuating they were captured and later killed off. In real life, the Romanov family were all executed. They were brought to a palace, and the Bolshevik soldiers lined them up and shot them repeatedly. Due to Nicholas II signing the October Manifesto, actions taken by the Bolshevik leaders made it known they had no intention of recognizing the constitutional precedent which begun in Russia. The grandmother in the movie is the Grand Empress Dowager. She was able to escape the capturing of the Romanov family. She was looking everywhere for the lost princess, and to whoever brought Anastasia to her, she would reward them with money. She ends up living in Paris to escape those looking for her, and at the end she reunites with her granddaughter, Anastasia. Dagmar of Denmark, Maria Fyodorovna, is the mother of Nicholas II. She was able to escape with a few of her daughters after the capturing of the Romanov family. She was able to return to Denmark after escaping Russia. She was said to have died due to long illness and believing her son Nicholas was still alive.
In the film, Rasputin plays the role of the main villain who orchestrates the death of the Romanovs and spends a majority of the film pursuing the death of Anastasia. He acts as a ghoulish corpse who is cartoonishly evil. Beginning as an advisor, he attempted to overtake Russia behind the family's back and was subsequently banished for treason by Tsar Nicholas. Enraged, he makes a deal with otherworldly forces, exchanged for powers, similar to how wizards can gain their powers in traditional Russian folklore. He then returns to the Russian palace and inflicts the Romanov curse, sending hordes of Russian soldiers to kill all members of Anastasia's family. In this he is successful besides the deaths of her and her grandmother. Now trapped in limbo due to his failure to fulfill his end of the exchange, he spends the rest of his film chasing her and her peers to Paris, attempting to kill Anastasia multiple times via both her subconscious dreams and his own hand. On his last attempt he fails, and his reliquary is broken before his demons come to collect his soul. In real life, Rasputin was a true friend and advisor to Tsar Nicholas, and was introduced to the family as a skilled healer who assisted the Tsar and his wife with their son Alexei's hemophilia. Whether the Rasputin had healing powers is debatable, but this act of healing brought the Tsar and his wife to be extremely close to the man. Rasputin had a reputation for being a heavy drinker, promiscuous, and connected to dark magic. Many Russian citizens were perturbed that the man had such a relationship with the Tsar and worried he might be influencing him in a negative manner. He was also rumored to have a relationship with the Tsarina, and he was opposed by the Eastern Orthodox Church. Rasputin's death is shrouded in mystery. He died in the early morning of December 30th, 1916, at the home of Prince Yusupov. He had 3 gunshot wounds, and it is said he survived the wounds, but later died by drowning after his assassins threw him in the Neva River. This death by river is alluded to in the film as he dies by drowning at the beginning of the film.
In the film Anastasia, there was a few key differences between the reality of the Bolshevik Revolution and how the film portrays it. The film insinuates that the revolution was immediately sparked by Rasputin's curse, rather than the reality of a campaign orchestrated by Lenin and his members. This campaign would quickly dissolve any reforms that Nicholas II attempted to implement before his abdication. In 1905, Nicholas II signed the October Manifesto. This ensured significant reforms for the Russian population as they were growing increasingly angry with the government's treatment. This document would include freedom of speech, press, and assembly. The manifesto also stated that no law could be passed without the Duma's approval. However, this was short-lived as the revolution quickly dismantled the political system. The film portrays an accurate depiction of how the leaders of the revolution control the media. At the beginning of the movie, the characters share rumors that Anastasia may be alive. However, as the scene plays, you can see the characters swiftly hiding their newspapers and silencing the whispers to make sure the soldier nearby does not see them engaging in the unfortunately criminal act of sharing the news. Once again, the movie did not stray far from the reality of 20th century Russians. The Bolshevik Party stripped the Russian citizens' right to have private institutions away. After taking control of the private institutions, their next course of action was to take control of all forms of communication. Both of these actions were to ensure there was no opposing authority against them. In the movie, St. Petersburg is seen to have very harsh working conditions. This is due to the negative effects of the revolution, as stated by the characters in the film. The movie makes an effort to emphasize the conditions peasants worked in by showing characters using heavy machinery while they are covered in icicles or covered in blankets attempting to shield themselves from the cold. Harsh living conditions appear to have a very strong overlap in both the movie and reality. Historical sources state that the peasants struggled with extreme poverty, lack of food, and an inability to own independent farms. These conditions were greatly significant as the Bolshevik Party promised peace, land, and bread, a promise they were unable to keep as the Russian peasants continued to endure a life of suffering.
Although the movie Anastasia utilizes true historical figures in some events, the depiction of these people and these passings are not historically accurate. The tale of Anastasia herself is based off of myth. The portrayal of Rasputin is incorrect, and the Bolshevik revolution and regime isn't presented completely truthfully.